Hello, okay, here we have this new video on the 1920s boom in America. Now then, as I said, this is the 1920s. This was from 1920 to 1929, the whole decade, isn't it? I don't know, I'm not really good at time scale. Sure, it's decade. Anyway, this is where the economy in America was on its all-time high, which is what we need now, really. We don't look like have a worldwide boom instead of a worldwide recession and then a depression, which is bound to happen because this government's bollocks. Anyway, there are many reasons for the Americans' economy being so great than any other. I think it's more down to the fact that they were the only ones that hadn't really suffered much from the First World War. In fact, they probably benefited more from the First World War than lost, because obviously they didn't enter until the last year or so. So they didn't lose half as many men as we did. They probably only lost like 50, but didn't lose a lot. So they had tons more manpower. Before they even joined, they were selling arms and bullets and guns and arties and artillery to the Germans and the English. So obviously reaping benefits from that. And the fact that they didn't have to pay too much for themselves, probably because they made half their weapons themselves. They probably thought, well, we don't need to buy these, just like all this stuff. So, oh dear, I keep doing that. So, the many things that did change during the 1920s, there was a lot of fashion changes. Pretty much, the most prime example is the flapper girls, which everyone should know about if they've done history, in year 10, which is when I learned this. And these were, before the 1920s, that's like usually Victorian and the early parts of the 20th century, the women were all, they were, you cannot show any flesh whatsoever except your face. They even got, if the neck was showing, apparently they'd be told off for that, get arrested, because it was improper, even though that's a load of bollocks, because even then everyone was still a sexual deviant. There were things like prozzies and all sorts on the street. It's just the thing. You've got Victoria saying, ew, you have to be all nice and proper, and yet, everyone else is just a bastard, really. It wasn't really the truth. People weren't really abiding by the law, which is no surprise, because, who wants to, because the laws are so bloody boring. And the women in that time, around the 1920s, the flappers, they eventually had these short skirts and short sleeve shirts to show off more of their arm. Basically, they're flashing off a bit more skin than the bit, and obviously most women were like, what is this whore? Doing that kind of thing. We're not improper, they're commoners. Just most people didn't like it, and the fact that many of the policemen tried to, I think there was no account of rioting with them. It was like loads of bits of the women were like, you don't be a whore, that kind of thing. Really, quite funny. Now, another thing that was probably the most important was probably the idea of the production line, which was great at the time, is where they could mass produce tons and tons and tons of cars and anything else. Of course, the only problem is they could only make one model of car, which was the Ford Model T. And you can understand, I don't think they had license plates at the time, so I understand if you'd forgotten your license plate and you'd see if they had a license plate, if you got it and there'd be a row of the same car, the same colour, the same shape. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, you probably just put like I don't know, 30 dice in, that'll probably do it. That would probably make it look different, but with the 30 dice around, I don't know. But you'd be thinking, which car's mine? Wait, hang on a minute. Didn't I park here? What's my car doing there? What's my car doing down there then? That was the wrong thing. A chicken in every pot and a gap in every ass. Alright, that's a different version. But that was the slogan, a chicken in every pot and a car in every garage. Which was the case at the time, because, they could all they could live well off what they had because they had credit. The first idea of credit crunch. Ha ha ha. Well, it wasn't credit crunch, but it was the idea of you didn't have to pay for anything right away. You could a loan, it's like what we're doing now with loans and repossession, except repossession didn't really come across until the Depression when everyone stopped, just went So obviously, it's almost like what's happening now, where in their case the dollar wasn't really worth as much as it was. It's not what they had in Germany, where the Reichsmarks weren't as much, where like you had to have 1 million Reichsmarks for a Deutschmarks, whatever, for your loaf of bread. It's like kind of like that, you know. Not really just, yeah, basically that's what we're going towards today. Probably not as bad, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I wouldn't be surprised. Like dust bowls everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. The depression, I might talk about that in a bit, maybe. Of course, it wasn't all good for people in the boom, because you know there was the whole Ku Klux Klan thing with these weird white dudes in shawls going, "These black people are just bastards." It's pretty much anyone who was in the South, that was a lot of the rednecks and all the black people that were getting treated like bollocks. Which, unlike today, they're getting treated like kings. Which I think that's a tad bit over the top. Maybe exaggerating a little bit, but I must admit, white people are starting to think that we should treat them like kings, even though they bomb us and, well, not everyone, you know what I mean, in general, as it's been stated, because most people tend to think that if it's one Muslim, apparently all the Muslims are the same. I'm thinking, well, no, because I've got a couple of friends who are Indian, and they don't blow people up. It's just like, well, no. No, I don't. And it's not, that's the thing, it's like with the black people. It was the same thing with that, except they took it a bit further. It was when they were cutting their hands off, cutting their wangs off. I don't know if they were raping them. I'm thinking that's a bit stupid if they were, because why would they want to... They don't want to touch them, but they'll rape them. So what, do they wear leather gloves or something? Wear leather gloves. And then it's just... No, it doesn't, they'll probably just kill them. And they like, dip them in tar and cover them in feathers and that's suffocate them. Very, very nice of them. They're like hanging them and lynching them, taking them from prisoners and beating the shit out of them. It was the same with the Depression as well. Black people still had the same thing. Although pretty much everyone had the same shit. Yeah. And there was another thing, which you've probably heard of if you... Sorry, I'm just looking at the wall there, I thought... nothing. Ruining the video. The Prohibition, if it was at a Prohibition, that was the law where you could not buy alcohol, drink it in a bar, or sell it. But apparently you could drink it in the privacy of your own home and you could make your own, apparently. Which most people did. They made it from these stills, which is just their heat walk, their boiler, a radiator, one of those grill radiators, the ones that are like those, not like the ones we have now. It was like, but you've seen them, like if anyone's got any old schools, it's those ones with the like a grill thing with these tubes in the line, like that. They used that, and that's what they used to pump. And apparently, it was very dangerous. There was the fact that there was the very likely chance that it would explode. So if anyone's seen this instance where Chief Wickham comes out with that jug and he goes, "And something good like girl pressure Bunstein," or something, it explodes. That's exactly what could have happened. And there was these people making like little attics or box rooms into speakeasies, that was what they were called, which is where people could go for a secret drink, and they could go and have a secret drink in the speakeasy. And look, the police were just corrupt as hell. I mean, there was the Costa Nostra problem, which was the Italian mafia. I can't say gangsters because you'll think I mean like those people, but I don't. It's just them people trying to be those people, but they're not those people, but who cares? And it was they were all like paying off all the cops saying, "Hey, you didn't see nothing. You're right there making it. You didn't see nothing. What have I never done to make you feel this booze? Yeah, you didn't see anything." That kind of thing. Which is, and then obviously, this was all over the period of the decade. There was most people were on the rise. There was like clubs were becoming fashionable. It was becoming a great thing to go out every night and get drunk. That's why they did the Prohibition thing, thinking they'd stop the people getting drunk. It just made it worse. It just made it worse, and then eventually they receded it. It was just silly. So, this was the boom. The Depression, basically just everything got in reverse. Everyone was fucked. There you go. That's the Depression. So hopefully you didn't learn anything.